Hi, I'm Erica.
And I'm Lynn, and today we're going to show you this wonderful quilt. It's called Snow Crystals.
Right, and it's made out of some gorgeous blue fabrics from Robert Kaufman, and I love the blue and white quilts. It actually kind of reminds me of my mom's dishes when I was growing up.
Oh, I can see that. And I love the fact that this was created with the 12-inch cube and the companion set.
Right, so we've got two companion dies that are used in this block.
Yes, so let's take a look at the quilt for a minute. Okay, so this is really interesting, and it really shows you the variety of what you can do with your cubes, that you don't need to just create 12-inch blocks. These are actually 24-inch blocks.
Right, so they're grand blocks.
They are, and really, you really get that feel of that snow crystal with the way that the designer designed this. And so we are going to talk about, there's a signature block, which is right here. And then there's a chisel, and that's in your companion set. And then we've got a half square and a square piece as well.
So we're going to put together this block, and this is going to be one that has the chisel and half square at the top, and then a half square unit, and then the square.
Okay. All right, I'm excited about that. I did want to point out this is the signature block die. We're not going to actually put this block together today, but just so you know, it's right there.
And that would use the same half square triangles that we're cutting for the other block.
Exactly. So this half square and this half square and this half square and that half square, those are all the same shapes.
Okay, great.
So that makes it easy. And so we're going to start with, we're going to cut those half squares, and we're going to cut 6 layers. And we've got our fabric on the lengthwise grain here, but that's going to give us, we've got the white, and then we've got some scrappy ones to add to the ends.
Great. You know, this, I think we may have used a fat quarter bundle on this, but definitely I think some of these shapes would be charm square friendly.
Yes.
And I think that those other shapes maybe could even be made out of layer cake.
Yes, the signature block and the chisel, which I have here, those are both layer cake friendly. So lots of options. Also, go to your scrap stash, and
if you might happen to have a few laying around.
Some of us do.
You know.
Anyway, so, and then I've got the square here, and I've got this strip. Actually, I can get 5 layers out of it, but you could cut up to 6 layers at a time. And then with our Go Big cutter, we can cut both of these dies at the same time, which I love. And the smaller dies you can cut on your Go as well as your Go Baby, which is another added benefit.
But just one at a time on the other cutters. Here we can do the 2. Which is a great time saver, because then you could be going ahead and getting your fabric ready on your larger dies and be able to alternate with them.
Right. So I'm going to just give you these shapes that are
squares.
Perfectly cut. Look at that.
Great.
Oops. Those fantastic dog ears.
That's okay. I'm going to take this one off the top. I'm going to match it up with one of my my scraps here, and that'll be our half square unit here, and then you're going to cut some chisels for us, right?
All right, so that's what I have with this die. We've got our fabric already on here, but this is our chisel, and the thing you want to keep in mind with the chisel, it is a directional shape. Okay. So now with the white fabric, it's a little bit less of a concern, but if you've got your printed fabric, you want to make sure that that you're cutting it the way that you want your chisels to go.
That is a really good tip, and that's another reason why it's always good to go ahead, use some of your older scraps or something else, make a sample block, or even cut just one block out of your fabric to put it together. And you may even want to take advantage of a design board or a little scrap of your batting to lay out your square as you're putting it together, so that you're making sure that you've got everything facing the right direction for you.
Right. Yeah, because that's the last thing you want, is to cut those chisels and then have them facing in the wrong direction.
That's right. So because of that, I'm just going to do a double check on myself, because we're going to want that to lay just like this. So I'm going to take a different scrap from my pile over here and just go ahead. I'm going to want it to lay like this. I'm going to go ahead and lay it out over here just to make sure that I'm on point, because it's really embarrassing when you do it the wrong way and you're filming.
And then can you show how perfectly those corners match up?
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and sew both of these together, because I like to multitask. And we were talking beforehand a little bit about personalizing this pattern, with the quilting and the different looks that you could get with some different thread.
Right,
And
because our sample uses, it's white. She's got white thread on the blue, and then it's a light variegated thread on the white. So,
which I thought was really an interesting take on it. So we went ahead and pulled out some variegated thread so that we could play with that a little bit here, and you have it on the table in front of us. Okay. Okay, so if I give this a quick press so we can see. By lining that up, we've got our perfect, just perfect corners. We're just right on, spot on there. And I'm going to go ahead and press this too because I get excited to see how it's all going to go together. And again, we've gone together just perfectly. Don't burn yourself, Lynn. And I can lay it out, and then our square that you cut for me would go right here, and wow, this block would go together in no time.
yeah, that's great. And I love the way that you chain stitched these pieces together, because you could definitely do that. And with these large shapes, with the 12-inch set, wow.
It would go together in no time.
It would.
And I think that's how I would sew it if I was sewing this at home. I would definitely lay out a lot and chain piece a lot of things together, and then I'd go chain press a lot together too.
Right. Okay, so we would just sew these two pieces together.
Right.
And then we'd sew these two units together.
And this
you've
is
got
what we would come up
final
with.
unit, and that's
bet.
fabulous. And then you just put lay out the rest of your blocks and follow the instructions on your pattern, and you've got your top completely done.
That's right, in no time.
This pattern is available. You can download it at AccuQuilt.com.
And we hope to see your inspiration there as well. Remember, you can always find more patterns and information and inspiration on Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
At AccuQuilt, we help you cut time
So you can quilt more.